The pandemic has also forced some changes to debate traditions. The candidates will appear on stage, but they'll be standing far apart, and there, of course, won't be any audience. But even this year, presidential debates remain part of our country's long-standing history. And joining us to talk about what we can learn from debates held in years past is UW professor Mike Wagner. Good morning, Professor. Thanks for talking to us.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to be here.
So if we look back, in not too long ago, the last time an incumbent was on the debate stage was in 2012, when then President Obama was standing next to Mitt Romney. Any takeaways from that first presidential debate? I believe the general consensus then was that Romney had actually won.
Yeah, this is a fairly common takeaway from debates where there's an incumbent. There was the widespread perception Mitt Romney won in 2012 in the first debate, and the same, for example, in the 1984 debate the first debate between Ronald Reagan and Walter Mondale. The widespread perception was that Mondale had won as well. And so one thing that kind of happens, or at least one thing that we use to explain this result, is that usually incumbent presidents already have a pretty busy job being president of the United States and maybe tend not to prepare as much for that first debate. And as you were saying moments ago, it doesn't appear as though the president is doing much in the way of preparation for this one. But those can be reasons, but it's also the case that the incumbent, of course, is the person trying to give voters a reason to stray from the person they chose last time and give someone new a chance. And so they tend to be a little bit more ready to throw some punches in that first debate.
The incoming president is certainly busy. I was looking at the list of topics. There's 6 main topics that they're going to address. One of them is the Trump and Biden records. What do you think would be the biggest point on the Trump record side and the biggest point on the Biden record side? Where could they attack each other there?
Well, I think that former Vice President Biden could attack President Trump in terms of his working of the COVID-19 pandemic. I think that's the place where he's evaluated least favorably in the American public. I also wouldn't be surprised to see former Vice President Biden attack the president for the many statements of mistruth or untruth that he has made throughout the course of his presidency. On the other side, I think President Trump is likely to attack former Vice President Biden on the Affordable Care Act, on his family, most notably his living son, Hunter Biden. And I think he is also likely to attack Joe Biden as a career politician. Those are kind of the main areas that he has focused his attacks on Biden so far on the campaign trail, and I expect to see those again on Tuesday.
And Biden has said that he hopes to avoid any family attacks there. Moving on to something else, how much do these debates really matter? I know people like us are going to be glued to our TVs. We enjoy watching them, but how much do they actually change public perception?
Well, I think they can matter even if they don't change public perception. One way they matter is that an independent source is asking critical questions of a person who wants to be president. And so that's a really important thing for us as a country to be able to see how these people think, how they respond under pressure, how they react to seeing what their opponent says right there live in real time. On the other hand, there's not a lot of evidence that they sway public opinion in a durable way that ends up affecting election results. One thing that can matter is the perception of who won the debate. Many people will watch, even more people will hear who won. And so news coverage after the debates can often also be important ways of shaping public perceptions about the campaign.
Thank you so much for talking to us this morning, Professor. That agenda setting by the media is definitely a responsibility I know none of us here take lightly. It can help influence public perception as well. So thank you so much for joining us on our program.
My pleasure.
And a reminder, you can watch the first presidential debate Tuesday night at 8 p.m. in a special report, which we will carry right here on News 3.